Hello and welcome to KennyRoy.com. I'm Kenny Roy. This is the Ask Video Mail for the week of February 11th, 2013. Welcome to the site to you new members, and welcome back to the old members. Don't forget, the Ask Video Mail is your chance to get your question in character animation or performance answered in a video just like this one, but I need your question if I'm going to answer it. So please send your questions to webmaster@kennyroy.com. I go through all the questions and I answer the ones that I think will help the most people. There's no such thing as a stupid question, and it is, of course, the best way to get the most out of the site. That is the intro. The whole month of February, I am giving away 2 copies of How to Cheat in Maya 2013 to anybody who sends in themselves doing the opening to a KennyRoy.com video. Okay, just like I just did it right now, record yourself doing it. I want to cut together a special intro, and I need your help to do it. So the 2 best videos get a free copy of How to Cheat in Maya 2013. That's pretty sweet. No one sent one in yet, though. I don't know if anyone's going to. I thought I'd put it out there. If nobody does, no big deal. I don't get to do my special video, but if some people start doing it, it would be awesome. But I'll still love you if you do not. Still be my friend. It's a sad day. R&H announced that they're filing bankruptcy today. And I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm going to write an article on this and release the article to everybody. It's going to be a special edition of the KennyRoy.com article. I hope you guys don't mind. I don't think you'll mind. The articles are members only. After 2 months, I give them to everybody. But I think this one, I think everyone should, you know, share their thoughts on this. And I want to share my thoughts, so I think it's a big deal. We recently painted in here. That's why there's this orangey yellow hue on this side. I decided to put a light right there and sort of bounce some of that color onto it. I don't know. I'm trying out different lighting. If you particularly like how a video mail looks, or you don't like how a video mail looks, please email me. I want the production value to be something that kind of keeps you coming back to KennyRoy.com. I kind of want to distinguish myself from the people who kind of do one-off videos. Maybe they just record their screen and they're talking over a microphone, or maybe they're just like little faces like stuck in the corner. I try to distinguish myself from those. I don't really like those. I don't think you get as much from that as when, like right now, when I can use the full space to kind of articulate myself and articulate my thoughts. I got thoughts on things. So let me know. Production value is definitely one thing that you can definitely give me feedback on here on this site. Tell your friends. I still have some people, one person in particular who signed up last weekend who said they had no idea that I was doing these videos, and since they signed up, they actually found out that you know, they have a couple friends who are members too. So tell your friends, why not? You can get a referral bonus if they put your username in on the sign-up sheet. You get 30 days free. It's instantaneous. It's just added right onto your subscription if they use you as their referrer. So tell your friends, tell them to do the free trial and just add free time onto your subscription. Makes a lot of sense, right? You could have 12 friends all sign up for the free trial, and none of them stay, and you are on the site free for a year. Amazing. Amazing. Get it on. Get it on. Okay, I think that's about it for announcements. Yeah, look out for that article that I'm going to release to everybody on the, it's kind of a state of the industry article, but I have very strong thoughts, and I think it's time some of us take the fight to the studios, and I really support VFX Soldier and what he's doing, or she. We don't really know who VFX Soldier is. Last month's article, no, sorry, December's article was about supporting VFX Soldier and the campaign to get a legal backing behind the work conditions and the state of the industry, subsidies and that kind of thing. So I'm going to take up the fight myself. I'm going to take it to the studios. I don't know how yet. It's a difficult situation. By the way, what do you guys think of my beard? I think it looks pretty good. I decided, since I'm going bald, I might as well, you know, grow all the hair on my head that I possibly can. So it's like getting sucked in here and pushing out here. Anyway, enough about me. Enough about the silly stuff. Let's talk about some animation. It's a great question this week. You're going to love it. That is a goodie. Thank you for sending that question in. In general, I mean, I've spoken about facial animation in parts here and there. The lip sync demo that I did, it's one of my oldest videos, that contact lip sync, cartoony one, and advanced workflow. I think those are the 4 that I launched my blog with, 2010. God, can you believe it's been that long? It's already 2013. Crazy. I've talked about it in parts, and I mentioned a few things, so I thought I'd just like really quickly just round up all of those things that I've said about facial animation, in particular eyebrows. I love eyebrows in one video, so that you guys have it, you can take it with you, and it's all in one place. First thing that I always say is that you can't forget the fundamentals when you move into the face. First thing. And it's amazing how many people just drop the fundamentals once they get into the face. They think it's all about just like this like still image, or it's all about musculature or something like that. Absolutely not. All of the principles still apply. Okay, there is pose to pose in the face. There is straight ahead and you know, a straight ahead workflow. There is an amount of overlap. There is an amount of anticipation, squash and stretch. Follow through. There is solid drawing. There is secondary action. Secondary action is almost completely tied to your lip sync, but in a way, it's how you deal with those anchors. And if you're wondering what anchors are, they're very important topic, and you should watch the lip sync lecture, which is in the store if you don't know what I'm talking about there. But first thing, definitely do not forget the fundamentals. And in particular, eyebrows. I find that they are a great way, depending on how big they are, but normally they're big enough that they are a major shape on the face, and you can use them to really kind of like telegraph your eye pose changes, like literally your eyelids. Okay, so that's the big thing with eyebrows is that anticipation is really, really good. And then overlap and follow through, those are also really, really strong as well. And what you get is a real sense that the face is moving when you have the eyebrows engaged in those. Okay, so definitely if you are going from, you know, neutral to surprised, definitely crunch everything up, and the eyebrows are a big part of that initial crunch before you go to the upward eyebrow pose. Okay, and the best part about it is that eyebrows are very relative. Okay, so you don't you can save like that eyebrow at 100%. You can go to just like 80 as long as you like anticipate it like down a little bit, right? So it's relative. It's almost as the amount that they move, not really the end pose. Okay, one part of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which was fantastic, was they kind of made fun of that property of eyebrows. It's when his father is, it's like near the end of the movie, and the scientist, the kids, his father is like really surprised, and the eyebrow goes like, it like just like goes up and 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 up. And the funny part is that the eyeballs, which I think are just little dots, the eyes they appear higher than where the eyebrow started. So it's not like the eyebrows were like covering the eyes. It's almost as if like they like revealed the eyes. It was very, very funny. But they were making fun of the property of relative eyebrow movement when they did that. Okay, and then the probably the final thing to remember is that the eyebrows, when they do take a pose, they need to be very sympathetic to the eyelid shape. Okay. You can, of course, you can do anything. You should not have too much disparate posing going on between an eyelid and an eyebrow. All right, I would. You could do a lot of experimenting and find some like weird like area where this works, where like the dissonance of the movement or whatever just like really makes it look interesting or whatever. But in general, because audiences are so adept at reading faces and we watch eyes all the time, you probably should follow the rule that the eyebrows should be sympathetic to the eyelid shape. Okay? And then basically you need to just follow your workflow like you normally would. You set your poses, you do your gross, posing. If he's angry in this one section, then go ahead, hit that pose and do a long hold on those. But as you move into the lip sync, then you can start doing things like head movements that the eyebrows can help out with. So I opened up, check it out. So here we have, this is the Jenk Rig from How to Cheat in Maya 2013, and I apologize, I've been pronouncing it Sync this whole time, and I was finally told, hey, it's actually Jenk, so I feel stupid. But anyway, now I'm saying it right, so we all get it. And if you don't know, this is the rig that is included in How to Cheat in Maya 2013. It's a really dope rig. It's a lot of fun to use, and basically it's a super intense facial animation practice rig, ultra dynamic. Everything moves. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. So so what I like about it is that it allows you to really kind of like overdo what if you want to practice facial animation, you can overdo stuff and then see kind of like, cast your line really, really far and then reel it in, especially with this kind of, I really like the just the layout of the rig and everything like that. Let me shrink my window so that we're not losing any of the stuff. Okay, so I opened this one up because it has some simple lip sync on it, and I wanted to show you some lip sync with some eyebrows on top of it. And this is the finished scene as it ships with the book, so you can watch it.
I have nothing to say. 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 I have nothing.
And I just wanted to point out just a few things that I was talking about. All right. So in terms of fundamentals, we have our brow controls right here, and if you look, very, very simple splines, and we have, as he's about to move his head upwards and his jaw is closing, we're getting a little bit of a squash on the face right here and the blink, and those eyebrows anticipate before they go up. Okay? And then they anticipate as well before they go down, right? So they hit a little bit of a shelf in this section right here. Okay? And then see, they rise before they fall down, and they overshoot just a little bit. It's very, very subtle, the amount of overlap that they have. But it's good enough for our purposes. Now I would probably touch this a lot more, way more, if this were a shot that I was turning in for, let's say, a feature animation. But the way it works in How to Cheat is the number of steps has to be very limited. So the amount of the amount of keyframes that is on here is probably the bare minimum to get this performance across. Okay, so I also want to point out that at no point is there a real dissonance between the eyelid pose and the eyebrow pose. Okay, and let me show you sometimes like what I show students when they're working on their eyebrows. So we have, let's say that this is a character's eye, okay, and this is the eyebrow, okay, and here's the eyelid, right, and then the eye, right. So you see how this angle, see how this flows along here, and also the eyelid is covered like that. I mean, this is sort of like a hooded eye. You know, a little bit. You know, this is a very specific character, but all the same, this flesh up here, it really should take a very sympathetic. You know, those two curves that I drew, they're very, they work together very well, and they're not fighting. They're very good for that, you know, for that purpose. Okay, it becomes very weird if you have an eyebrow pose. Let's say, let me just do kind of like Jenk's eyebrows, right? Get this kind of like really super surprised eyebrow pose, and the eyelids are doing something, you know, completely different. Because this one's like really sleepy, and this one is like angry, right? Like, it makes absolutely no sense. So it's definitely a matter of getting, you know, making your choices to be you know, so you're kind of thinking about how the eyebrows and the eyelids are playing together at the same time. Okay, and then also one last thing is here's I drew the eyebrow hair, the eyebrow hairs. That's what we call this. I drew the brow hairs here, but a lot of times it's a lot more like what I drew a second ago. It's a lot more like your character rig will have, you know, like eyebrow flesh that is getting pushed around, right? And there's like hair on top of it. A lot of the characters we work with have like really super fleshy eyebrows, and that's what we're moving around. Jenk is the same, okay? So as you can see on his rig right here, you know, I move these up and down, and we get a lot of, you know, we get a lot of fleshiness. In fact, already the volume on the top of the nose here is already worked out for you on this rig. It's pretty incredible. It's really fun to work with. I wonder if this is going to crash it. Let me just see. Yeah. So as you can see, there's just so much flexibility and versatility in this rig. It's insane. But yeah, so what have we seen? We've seen a little bit of fundamentals. We've seen a little bit of the anticipation, the overshoot, a little bit on there. And don't forget also to add on top of that a little bit of secondary motion, not action, but secondary motion. So like true follow through. If you have a character like, you know, bouncing down the stairs, there's no reason that you can't go in there and like just very detailed, very small, like each little bounce, like have like a little bit of bounce on those eyebrows. It adds a fleshiness, it adds like a weight to the skin of the face, makes everything feel really fantastic. But again, don't do that if you're, you know, don't block that into your scene. That is a very final moment detail you want to put into your animation. That's not something that you want to like start on right away. You will just completely inundate yourself with keys. You'll freeze up, you'll lock up your scene with keyframes. You won't be able to get out. Anyway, so let's see what else. I think that that pretty much covers it. One last thing to note about the eyebrows is that definitely you don't want to twin. As you can see right here, I mean, it looks like that these eyebrows move pretty much parallel, but there is, you know, there's a bigger space right here than there is right here, okay? And that all that means is that, you know, they are moving a little bit, they have a different pose than they do here, but again, this is for how to cheat in Maya, where the number of steps has to be kind of a little bit minimal. So if this were for production, I would definitely maybe just grossly offset these one frame. Oops. The brand new Maya still has that silly thing.
Nothing to say.
Yeah. See, even that small amount that I just offset them makes a little bit of a difference, and it makes it feel just a little bit more natural. So twinning is a big issue as well. So don't forget the fundamentals. Don't forget to put those into your eyebrows. Keep those that sort of like sympathy between the eyebrow and the eyelid shape. The two fundamentals that are the most powerful for eyebrows is anticipation and overlap. And when you're putting them into as part of your workflow, definitely block your eyebrows in sort of like emotion. So if he's like angry in this section, you can block that in and do a long hold. And then if he's mad or he was already angry, and then he goes to like surprise, then you can have like just a really simple transition, even in stepped keys, to that new pose. But then as you're working on it, really look at those transitions, those moments of transition, because he's going to go from that like angry to surprise. You want to anticipate it really far ahead with those eyebrows. Okay. Remember, you can tone down everything. The amount of overlap that you do is one of those things that you can tone down. It's one of those things that you can adjust. The amount that the amount that it's in there. I always go too far and then I reel it in. I can't stress that enough. I don't know how many more ways I can say it, but it's imperative to be the kind of animator that knows better, or has a workflow that is geared more towards editing your animation than it is to making the perfect animation on the first try. For those of you who are new to the site and haven't heard me say this in a video mail or a lecture in a while, the best animators in the world, and I am by far not, but I do know that the best animators in the world, you think that they every single thing they do is just one perfectly placed step in front of another towards that immaculate shot. That could not be further from the truth. The best animators in the world are the best editors of their own animation. It just so happens that they have so much practice that they can get 10 versions in the time that it takes you to do one version. And then they just pick out the best one. And you have that skill. You could pick the best animation out of 10 different ideas. You could say this is the best one. You could. Why? Because that's taste, and that's what got you into animation. If you want to be the best animator in the world, then you need to learn you need to practice enough, basically, to be able to bang out 10 different ideas and then pick out the best one. It's easy after that because you have clearly the best one to choose from. Okay, so this has a lot to do with that as well. Everything has everything to do with everything. Animation is very connected. Well, goodness, that'll pretty much cover it. Thanks for the question. Please send more questions. The address to send them to is webmaster@kennyroy.com. Don't forget to refer your friends, get some free time on the site. I'm doing a webcast for the Kickstarter backers for the little painter this Friday, February 15th at 2 p.m. Pacific. Check the homepage of kennyroy.com if you're a backer and you want to make sure not to miss it. It'll be right here on the site. Appreciate all you guys are doing. Good luck with your animation, and as always, rock on.